Hi everyone, I am Amina, second year MSc Microbiology student from Central University of Tamil. Here I'm going to discuss about biofuel production from organic waste. In this, I would like to describe more about what fuels are, how we classify the biofuels into four generations, what all sources of organic waste are being used, and the conversion technologies that are being used for the conversion of organic waste into the production of biofuel and also the production of biogas and bioethanol. So, what are fuels? Fuels are the substances that store energy and can be extracted but are not conserved after the use. Fuels are of two types: fossil fuels and biofuel. Fossil fuel are extracted from dead plants and animals over million of years of ago and are not renewable. They are of high energy density, easy to storage, transport, and of high versatility. But they have much more harsh effect on the environment, such as greenhouse gas emission and environmental damage, resource depletion, etc. And there comes much more safe side of fuel like renewable fuel, biofuel. And this biofuel are being produced from the organic substances such as plants, algae, animal waste, etc. And they are of lower environmental impact and carbon neutrality. And they reduce majority of the limitations of the fossil fuels which are being discussed. And this organic waste which are used for the biofuel production is abundant and of low cost. And this waste to biofuel production conversion reduces the landfill pollution and energy cost. These biofuels can be used for the transport, aviation, cooking, etc. And the classification of biofuels. The biofuels can be classified into primary biofuels and secondary biofuels. In the primary biofuels, these substances are used for the direct usage of the fuel, like such as firewood, plants, forest, animal waste, etc. They can be used for direct fuel production. And in the secondary biofuels, they should be processed for the production of the biofuel, and they are again classified into first generation, second generation, third generation, and fourth generation. In the first generation, we use consumable food crops as the source of uh, biofuel, such as wheat, barley, corn, potato, etc. And from that, we can produce biofuel such as bioethanol, and they are also called as conventional biofuel. They increase the demand of the food crops, which also cause the concern of lacking of food crops. And in the second generation, they use non-consumable food crops or non-consumable plant parts for the production of biofuels. They are also called as advanced biofuels. They use non-consumable plant parts such as straw, grass, wood, etc. for the production of the biofuel, and they can also be called as advanced biofuels. They can be used bioenergy crop and non-consumable plants for the production of second generation biofuels. And in the third generation biofuels, they use algae and microbes like cyanobacteria for the production of the biofuels such as biodiesel. They are also known as algal fuel. They have high photosynthetic rate, utilization of non-arable and non-fresh water for the biofuel production. And in the fourth generation, we use genetically modified algae or other bacteria for the production of biofuels such as biodiesel, which will cause improved photosynthesis, improved lipid synthesis, improved sugar utilization, moreover, and improved residue. And these are the sources of organic waste. First, we'll discuss about agriculture residue. In agriculture residue, it will be more of lignocellulosic materials, and this should be pre-treated before the production of the biofuel. And second comes the animal manure. They include more of organic material, and they need anaerobic digestion for the production of the biofuel. And these can be used for biogas production. And in the third, they are MSW, like municipal solid waste. They contain food scraps, paper, etc. They are rich in carb, carbohydrate. They are rich in fat and protein. These are also used for the biofuel production. These all can be used for the biofuel production to reduce the methane, unwanted production of methane due to the careless decomposition, and also the landfill product pollution. And for last comes the sewage sludge. They contain high moisture and contain inorganic ash. They require treatment through drying, dewatering, and sterilization for the conversion efficiency and for the production of efficient biofuel. And talking about conversion technology, first comes hydrothermal carbonization. In hydrothermal carbonization, they treats wet biomass like food waste, manure, crop residues without pre-drying. They work at 200 degrees Celsius, 20 megapascal pressure, and they release energy while breaking the biomass into carbon-rich products. That's how they produce biofuels. The main reaction that happens here is that they produce they break down the biomass with the water and remove the water and carbon dioxide and forming a carbon-rich substances which is in an aromatic structure because it is much more stable. And these carbohydrates are dehydrated into hydroxymethyl fuel, and they are polymerized into polyfuels, and they are again hydrogenized and carbonized to form hydrochar, which is a solid fuel. And the solid fuel can be used for bio-oil, soil conditioning, carbon catalyst, and adsorbents for purification and CO2 capture, and to capture CO2. And they can also be used as many feedstocks such as crop residues, energy crops, mixed waste, etc. And the quality of the biochar depends upon the type of feedstock which are being used. And next comes anaerobic digestion, which is commonly used for the biofuel production. In this anaerobic digestion, the waste materials are break down without the presence of the oxygen, and which indicates they involve more of anaerobic microbes, and they make biogas and also of digestate. This biogas is used for cooking, power, fuel, etc. And this digestate is used as fertilizer for the production of crop plants, for the much more efficient growth of plants, and they reduce waste and pollution. And algae are great for anaerobic digestion because they are easy to break down. They contain protein, lipids, carbohydrate, etc., and they lack lignin, making them easier to digest than woody and lignocellulosic biomass. And from this we can produce first generation biofuels and also of the second generation biofuels. And the next technology that we've been used is pyrolysis. And in pyrolysis we treat the waste at heat temperature 300 to 700 degrees Celsius without oxygen, and they make liquid, gaseous, and solid fuels such as bio-oil, gas, and biochar. And it can be much more we can produce better fuel by pyrolysis by mixing it with plastic or oils. And we can use other waste products such as garbage crops, food crops, and plastic for the production of biofuel. This reduces landfill and pollution. This turns the waste into useful fuels. And in the normal pyrolysis, normally they are produced unwanted tar and wanted char. To reduce this unwanted tar, we use certain catalysts to make the more efficient fuel, and this makes the process faster and cleaner. And in the next technology, it is acid catalysts. In acid catalysts are the substances that improves the chemical reaction without being involved in the chemical reaction. So they are not used up in the process, but they help to make the process better and faster. So they break down the complex materials such as fat, oil, biomass, etc. into fuels. So they make esters from fatty acid, which is called as esterification. They make biodiesel from oil, which is called as transesterification. They break biomass into sugar for the ethanol production, which is called as hydrolysis, etc. Acid catalysis can be used for all these methods or all these steps. This improves the bio oil quality also. And acids can be of liquid acids like H2SO4 and HCl, which work faster but hard to handle. And solid acids like zeolites and metal oxide can be also used, which are reusable, and they are important for the generation of second generation biofuels and making the biofuel production cheaper and cleaner. And next comes transesterification. The transesterification is a chemical process where one ester is converted into another ester by exchanging the alcohol group. So in this method, they change oils or fats into biodiesel. The catalysts are used for making the reaction much more faster and easier. Acid catalysts work with oil or wet feedstock but are slow. Base catalysts are fast and common but can form soap if water is present. Enzyme catalysts are used, they are eco-friendly, they give pure biodiesel but cost more. The advanced catalysts make very high fuel yields but are still in research. And liquid catalysts work fast but are hard to separate. And solid catalysts are reusable, easy to separate, etc. And next comes saccharification. In saccharification, they break complex carbohydrates such as cellulose, hemicellulose, starch into simple sugars. Simple sugars like glucose, xylose, arabinose that are needed for the microbes for the fermentation. So what happens is that this happens after the pre-treatment to open up the cellulose. So they are done by using the enzymes such as cellulase, amylase, hemicellulase, etc. So in this technique, they can convert complex materials such as cellulose into simple sugars such as glucose. They can convert hemicellulose into xylose, arabinose. They can convert starch into maltose, and they can be further reduced into glucose. So they convert tough plant material into simple usable sugar for the microorganism for fermentation to produce biofuels. So the efficiency of saccharification is controlled by how biofuel is formed. And now comes the production of biogas. So here what happens is that we can use food crops directly, or else we can use the animal manure or any other bio-waste. They are mixed in the pit first. They are mixed with equal amount of water in the pit. So what happens here is anaerobic digestion. So they are of different phases. So first comes zero phase. In zero phase, they mainly indicate of mixing. We mix the crops, animal manure, other bio-waste, etc. with the equal amount of water in a pit. This is called zero phase. And in the first phase, hydrolytic bacteria converts the large molecules into small molecules, like they produce volatile fatty acid, acetic acid, propionic acid, ammonia, carbon dioxide, etc. And in the second phase, the acid forming bacteria convert the small molecules into organic acids, such as protein are converted into volatile acids, carbohydrates and fats are converted into volatile fatty acids. And in the third phase, acid forming bacteria break this acid into acetate, carbon dioxide, hydrogen sulfide, ethanol, etc. And in the fourth phase, methanogenic bacteria use all these products for the production of methane, carbon dioxide, alkaline water, etc. And the gas thus formed, like the methane gas and the carbon dioxide, which are being used as a biofuel, are being collected in the dome shape of this digesters, and they are connected to gas treatment plant and also of the combined heat plant power station, etc., for the production of electricity and for the usage of cooking, etc. And the digestate which are being left apart can be stored in another digestion residue storage, and they can be used as a fertilizer for the crops. And for the better growth of the plants, these digestate can be used as fertilizers. They are rich in phosphorus and urea, etc., and are much more efficient fertilizer. And there are different type of biogas, such as vertical biogas design, horizontal biogas design, Chinese biogas design, and French model, Indian model, Nepal model, etc. And the economic importance of biogas means they are renewable, they produce renewable energy such as methane, electricity, heat, etc. They reduce the greenhouse gas emission and of air pollution. They produce fertilizer which improves the soil fertility, thereby improving the crop quality and quantity, and thereby improving the food for animals, humans, etc. And they preserve food, forest and pastures, and they collect and manage waste efficiently, create job and income for the rural area, people in the rural area. And they have advantages and also of disadvantages. Advantages, as we discussed, they are produced naturally from the waste. They generate electricity and heat. They reduce waste and pollution. They produce nutrient-rich fertilizer, increase biogas, methane yield. They use renewable energy, etc. And for the disadvantages, they require they require enough amount of raw material. They should need initial investment. They need high initial investment cost and need to be carefully operated, and require high amount of water or large quantity of water for this. And also they are sensitive to temperature, and the risk of inhibitors are also there. And for the production of bioethanol, before the production of bioethanol, it should be pre-treated. So the steam explosion is the most common and efficient pre-treatment that are being used. So what happens is that biomass is heated at high pressure steam, and the pressure is then rapidly released. This is the principle what happens in the steam explosion. So heat and steam soften the lignin and melt or rearrange the hemicellulose, and the acetyl groups release acetic acid, which breaks the hemicellulose into sugars, simple sugars like xylose. And when we release the pressure rapidly, the hot water molecule which get into the cell vaporizes by expanding and causes porosity and increases the porosity and rupture the cell walls. And this causes the lignin to partially break down, and some redeposits as droplets. Cellulose become less crystalline and easier for the enzymes to act. And next step is hydrolysis. In hydrolysis, they break down cellulose and hemicellulose into simple sugars. They can be acid catalyzed. By using dilute acid, they can break down hemicellulose into simple sugars. By using concentrated acid, they can convert the cellulose into, or they can break down the cellulose into simple sugars. By enzyme catalyzation, they can use enzymes, specific enzymes such as cellulase enzyme for the breaking down of cellulose and hemicellulose. Cellulose is being hydrolyzed by the usage of several other enzymes such as endoglucanase. This endoglucanase enzyme cut beta-1,4 bond and cause the production of cellodextrins. This cellodextrins, with the help of exoglucanase, are converted into cellobiose, which contains two molecules, and beta glucosidase, with the help of beta glucosidase, they are converted into glucose. This hemicellulose and hemicellulose hydrolysis, they use silane. Xylene is converted into short silo oligosaccharides with the help of endo beta 1,4 xylanase, and the silo oligosaccharides are again converted into xylose with the usage of beta xylosylase. And then comes fermentation. This fermentation, the sugar that have been produced yet are used by the yeast, especially Saccharomyces cerevisiae, for the production of ethanol. So they can be of batch fermentation, continuous fermentation, fed batch fermentation, etc. And they can be produced by separate hydrolysis and fermentation, in where hydrolysis and fermentation is happened in two different reactor or two separate reactors, and simultaneous saccharification and fermentation, which uses the hydrolysis and fermentation in one reactor, and simultaneous saccharification and co-fermentation, which uses genetically modified yeast for the fermentation of hydrolysis and fermentation of pentose sugar, and the consolidated bioprocessing, where we use Clostridium thermocellum, where every reaction is happening in one reactor. So, recovery. How this ethanol is being recovered? Ethanol and water form azeotropic mixture. That means they boil at nearly same temperature. So the conventional techniques that are being used are azeotropic distillation, which uses a separating agent to break the azeotrope between the ethanol and water, and then extraction, and also by liquid extraction, where we use another liquid for the extraction of the ethanol, and we can also use extraction distillation, which are widely used for large scale operation, where we add a solvent to help for the separation. And emerging energy efficient techniques are pre-evaporation, which uses the membrane to separate ethanol from water, and also salt distillation, where we use salt for the separation of the ethanol. And in conclusion, organic wastes are not burden but a feedstock for low-cost biofuel production. And bacteria can produce biogas by anaerobic digestion, and yeast produce bioethanol, which can replace the usage of fossil fuels, thereby the production of the greenhouse gases. And by the development of engineered microbes, they can break down the waste into fuel in one step. Waste to fuel process reduce the pollution, landfill use, and provide clean energy and much more eco-friendly tomorrow. So that's all, and these all are my references. Thank you.